The Enfield Poltergeist was a claim of supernatural activity at 284 Green Street, a council house in Brimsdown, Enfield, London, England, between 1977 and 1979. It all began in the winter of 1977 in the small town of Enfield, England. An ordinary family found themselves at the center of a terrifying paranormal phenomenon known as the Enfield Poltergeist. When the Hodgson family, consisting of single mother Peggy Hodgson and her 4 children, Margaret, Janet, Billy, and Johnny, moved into their new home on Green Street. At first, everything seemed normal, but soon strange things started happening. Objects would move on their own, furniture would shake, and eerie noises could be heard throughout the house. The Hodgson children claimed to have seen a ghostly figure lurking in the shadows, whispering threatening messages. In August 1977, Peggy Hodgson called the Metropolitan Police to her rented home at 284 Green Street in Enfield, London, saying she had witnessed furniture moving and that 2 of her 4 children had heard knocking sounds on the walls. A police officer reported witnessing a chair wobble and slide, but could not determine the cause of the movement. Later, claims included disembodied voices, loud noises, thrown toys, overturned chairs, and children levitating. Over a period of 18 months, more than 30 people, including the Hodgsons' neighbors, paranormal investigators, and journalists, said they variously saw heavy furniture moving of its own accord, objects being thrown across a room, and the sisters seeming to levitate several feet off the ground. Many also heard and recorded knocking noises and a gruff voice. Society for Psychical Research members, Maurice Gross and Guy Lyon Playfair, reported that curious whistling and barking noises coming from Janet's general direction. Although Playfair maintained the paranormal activity was genuine and wrote in his later book, This House is Haunted, the true story of a poltergeist in 1980, that an entity was to blame for the Enfield disturbances, he often doubted the children's veracity and wondered if they were playing tricks and exaggerating. Still, Gross and Playfair believed that even though some of the alleged poltergeist activity was faked by the girls, other incidents were genuine. 7 other paranormal investigators who visited the Enfield house included American demonologists Ed and Lorraine Warren, who were convinced that the events had a supernatural explanation. According to Brian Dunning, the Warrens' visit was short. Ed Warren tried to persuade Playfair that money could be made from this case by writing books and selling movie rights. And then the Warrens left. Psychical researcher Rennie Haynes noted that doubts were raised about the alleged poltergeist voice at the SPR conference at Cambridge in 1978, where videocassettes from Enfield were examined. In one recording, Janet's voice could be heard speaking in a deep, guttural tone that was not her own. She claimed to be possessed by a spirit named Bill, who had died in the house years before. Bill's ghost was said to be angry and seeking revenge on the living. As the days went on, the activity escalated. The children became increasingly afraid, and Peggy struggled to keep her family safe. The Warrens urged the family to leave the house, but the entity seemed to have a hold on them, refusing to let them escape. One night, as the family slept, a loud banging noise awoke them. They discovered that all the windows in the house had shattered simultaneously, with no apparent cause. The Hodgsons realized that they were dealing with a powerful and vengeful entity that would stop at nothing to terrorize them. Eventually, the activity subsided, and the Hodgson family was able to move out of the house. The Warrens conducted a final investigation and determined that the Enfield Poltergeist was indeed a malevolent spirit that had attached itself to the family. To this day, the Enfield Poltergeist case remains one of the most well-documented and terrifying instances of paranormal activity. The Hodgson family never fully recovered from the trauma they experienced, and the memory of the entity that haunted them continues to linger in the shadows of their minds. The Enfield Poltergeist serves as a chilling reminder of the existence of forces beyond our understanding, lurking in the darkness and waiting to strike when we least expect it. And for the Hodgson family, the horrors of that fateful winter in 1977 will never be forgotten.